was born and raised in Boston, Massachusetts, but all of my family comes from the Cape Verde Islands, which are off the west coast of Africa. So I've been in Boston for a very long time, haven't, decided to leave yet just because a lot of family members are here. So they have me very rooted here. I attended, public schools in Massachusetts, studied abroad in Paris, France, where I had a great opportunity to see what it would feel like to live in another country. So that gave me great opportunity to kind of gauge, the way that I see the view of the world, being more open-minded to different cultures, different beliefs, different religions. And so that led me to, following my heart, which led me to education and empowerment. So that's where I am now. Have two lovely boys and a husband who's a Boston police officer. So we together are just enjoying being in the city of Boston. Yes, so my family has always been really close-knit. And so, my first cousins are like my brothers and sisters. And so I had a cousin who we grew up very close. We shared birthdays together. Any family event that happened, we were there together. And, you think when you're in a loving family, you're doing the right things, good things will come your way, right? Like, you're not going to assume anything other than that. So with time, we kind of grew apart a little because I went off to college. And so we were still especially close. But one summer in 2000, August 18th, to be exact, of 2000, I came to learn that my close cousin was murdered. He was shot and killed by supposedly a young man who attempted to rob him of his jewelry. And so that really, really rocked my world. At that point, I couldn't see anything. We were getting ready to celebrate my brother's birthday, who was on the same day, and they were very close. It was like my world has stopped. I mean, all I saw was anger, frustration. In all of us, we fell into like a very, very deep depression. And in my culture, often, it's seen as a taboo not to talk about how you feel, So we really didn't have a space where we could express what we were feeling. At certain points, people were thinking, let's get revenge, let's do something, angry. And so I had to really dig deep within me to figure out, how are we going to get past this? How was I, as the older cousin, the one that was seen as the older sister, going to get us through this dark, dark shadow? And so it took a lot, but I started by saying, I need help. Like, I can't talk to, my siblings about this. I can't talk to my parents because we're hurting so bad that it's like, we've never had anybody murdered in our family. So it's like, how do you deal with this? Like, why him? All these questions. And I decided to see someone. So the counseling kind of started me going inward, right? And healing the wounds that were within and trying to understand why this could have happened. And in the process, I didn't even realize what I was doing, but I started to heal myself and heal my loved ones around me at the same time. So I started to think, what were the things, that we loved about my cousin that brought us close together? And I said, well, what if we did what he loved? And I started looking at our culture and creative expression that we all shared and had a great passion for at the time, music and writing. So I started to write poetry. And then I kind of connected with my family members, the ones that were really, really close with him, his brother. And we created together a music group. Out of nowhere, we started writing about how we felt, the pain that we had felt, the good, the bad. And because he also was into music and he recorded his own music, We even got to use part of his, music that he had created before he had died within our music. So, amidst all this like anger and hurt and pain, like emerged like this powerful unity. All of these people that were really close to him, that loved him dearly, came together, and we found, beauty in the tragedy, and so we got to perform places. I mean, it was amazing. We created our own CD. And
Wow.
we sold our own CD. That was when CD Baby was big, and we sold our CD on CD Baby a long time ago. But it took a lot to move from, a place where you're so stuck in depression and anger, to shift to think, well, what can I actually get that's positive out of this situation, that you would probably not ever have a true explanation of why it happened. But I wanted him to feel like there was a reason, that this happened for us. It brought us closer. It created, that magic and that gift, that resurrected from the pain, of losing him. So that was my turning point. And within that, that's how I kind of shifted my life and my vision, because I said I have to create something that incorporates this idea of culture and creative expression to help, children and women, in particular of color, because, I am of color, and so I can relate more, right, to the things that we, talk about, think about, believe, and using that to transform any anger or pain or fears that we might feel, that we're saying that, wow, this is it. This is the end of the world. Like, where am I going to go with this? I'm stuck, right? And as we heal one another, we in turn give that gift to other people, and when we understand that power, we can really make the world a better place. My goal too was, I've got to make sure that we don't get into that cycle of violence, right? Like, we don't want another person in our family to engage or react, and then, okay, well, here goes another person of color, shot and killed, or in the cycle that never ends, So that was also a driving force for me. I wanted to protect my brothers. I wanted to protect his brothers, who were so close to him and so enraged. So that was a blessing, from God saying, like, there's more, there's better, like, hang in there, And I think the more that we focus, though, on the things that we can control, right, the things that we can be grateful for, the easier that transition or that shift will be. And I feel like when people get stuck on that, oh my God, I can't control this, like, I hate this, I hate that, then we're stuck in that cloud, right? But if you can just shift a little and see some sunlight, the silver lining, right? And say, well, thank you, God, for what I can do, what I do have, despite the fact that he was taken at the young age of 19, I still had 19 years that I'm grateful for, of amazing memories, right? And then thinking, well, what can we control? We can control what we think about now, how we think about our future, So that is definitely the most important lesson I think you can learn, is to focus on the gratitude and what you can control. Yes. So the name of the group was called Blessed Des, which is blessed with two Z's, and the word Des is means 10 in Cape Verdean Creole, which is the language that we speak. And so there were 9 members in the group, and I specifically wanted to connect with those 9 people because they were his best friends, cousins that were really close to him, his siblings. And so there were 9 members, and then in Cape Verde there are 10 islands, and so the 10th member was him, his spirit. That was the idea, that throughout this, whatever we're making, we're creating, he's there as well. So I have created and founded the Mindset Cultural Coaching. So with my work, the goal is to educate, unite, empower, and enlighten children and women of color right now. I would love to work with all women of all backgrounds and all races and all children. That's the ultimate goal. And I'm doing that by using the transformational gifts of culture and creative expression. And so I have a website right now. It's www.mindsetculturalcoaching.com. And in about 10 or so weeks, I'm going to be launching my first course. That's a 10-week course, and it's called Guts, Grits, and Glory. And so if folks are interested in trying to think about how they can shift their life using the transformational gifts of both culture and creative expression, they should definitely check it out.